out. Now you can't offend me. What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to the Nerdy Narrative, a channel where I talk about all sorts of fun bookish related things in the science fiction, fantasy, and horror genres. Today we're gonna have a little fun with a tag. I was tagged by Jessie Mae about a month ago to do the Get to Know the Fantasy Reader tag, and I am finally getting around to it. Jessie, I'm so sorry it's taken me so long, but I love you for tagging me. I will have Jessie's channel as well as the original creator down below in the description box, so please, if you have not discovered the precious channel that is Jessie Mae's, give her a watch. You'll be so glad that you did. Let's hop into this, shall we? Prompt number 1, your fantasy origin story. What book sparked your interest in fantasy? So my introduction to fantasy was definitely the Chronicles of Narnia when I was in elementary school, later followed up in junior high by Lord of the Rings. But my absolute love for the genre didn't occur until high school when my friend Paul introduced me to The Eye of the World. This is the book that clinched my love and just cemented me heavily into the fantasy world, and I haven't looked back since. Prompt number 2. If you could be the hero or heroine in a fantasy novel, who would be the author and what's one trope you'd insist be in the story? I guess if it was like high epic fantasy, I'd want the author to be Brandon Sanderson, but if it was urban fantasy, Jim Butcher. So I'm gonna kind of cheat and kind of go both ways on that. However, as far as the trope that would just have to be in my story, my friendships are extremely crucial to my happiness. So if I'm gonna be in a fantasy story, the trope I have to have is definitely going to be the quest. I mean, it's just got to be. It's just got to be. The hero with a handful of secondary characters set out on a quest with a specific goal, whether it be saving a princess, defeating a villain, destroying some sort of corrupted artifact, or finding someone. Not so much the end goal as it is the journey with my pals. Prompt number 3. What is a fantasy that you have read this year that you want more people to read? Prompt number 4. What is your favorite fantasy subgenre? And what subgenre have you not read much from? I would have to say high epic fantasy is going to be my favorite. The subgenre I haven't read much from, I would have to go with the fairy tale retellings. I've actually only read one. I didn't love it, but I'm curious to read more. I know there are a ton out there, and there are a bunch I've seen that have been really, really popular out and about in the book Twitter and booktube communities that I'm gonna have to check out. Prompt number 5. What is one of your auto-buy fantasy authors? Ooh, one? I don't have just one. I mean, depending on your type of fantasy. I mean, Brandon Sanderson, Terry Goodkind, Jim Butcher. I mean, there's not just one. There's like a ton. John Quinn. I mean, I can just keep adding to this list. Like, it's just not possible to name one. Just not possible. Prompt number 6. How do you typically find recommendations? Today's world, it's definitely BookTube and Book Twitter. Prior to those things, it was mainly one of my longtime best friends, Paul, and my cousin Kevin. Paul is the one who introduced me to the Sword of Truth series as well as the Wheel of Time, and then my cousin Kevin is actually the one who gave me Game of Thrones and got me started on that series. Prompt number 7. What is an upcoming fantasy release you are excited for? Just one? Not possible. Battleground, Fires of Vengeance, Rhythm of War. I mean, November is going to be crazy. Prompt number 8. What is one misconception about fantasy that you would like to lay to rest? I think the one that aggravates me the most is the fact that medicine was based purely on superstition. I don't know why that aggravates me, but it just does. Probably the other one is how A lot of times servants are looked down upon as being low-ranking individuals, and that just wasn't really the case. If you check medieval history, I mean, there were actually high-ranking servants who had their own servants. In recent months, I read Magician Apprentice, and I really loved the fact that the royals, nobles treated everybody with respect, no matter what their station was. In the social system of the castle and the town, they were respectful to everyone, and man, that was so refreshing. Prompt number 9. For new fantasy readers or readers who are looking to get into the fantasy genre, recommend their first 3 books as a starting place. First of all, not Robin Hobb. The woman is evil incarnate. I literally just finished reading this one, and to me, it is a perfect sort of introduction to fantasy to see if it's something you might enjoy. That would be A Hero's Downfall by Toni Johnson. I would also recommend starting off with Eragon by Christopher Paolini. That's another little light one that could test the waters, so to speak. I would 1000% recommend Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Currently, it's a standalone. It is absolutely wonderful. It's so interesting. It just has so many appealing elements. I mean, there's mystery, there's political intrigue, there is a sentient sword that is just awesome. You've got a really unique magic system. I mean, I really just kind of want to read it again, like right now. And lastly, what are the most recent fantasy reading content creators that you've come across that you would like to shout out? And it's really funny because Jessie Mae tagged me, and it's on her Discord that I met my most recent friends, and that would definitely be Alan from the Library of Alexandria. His energy is just through the roof. His excitement for books is just translates. He is hilarious. He's so much fun. Please go check out his channel. Another one is The Bookish Mom. She is so full of life. She's another really vivacious person that I've just really gotten attached to. Let's see, Sorcerer's Apprentice Reads is another one. You know, all it took was for me to see her review Malice, and it was love at first click. And I'm gonna tag a couple of people. I'm gonna tag Lost in a Bookcase. I hope she does this because I think I know what a lot of her answers are gonna be, so I'm gonna quiz myself watching her video. I'm also gonna tag JJ, the Bearded Bookworm, and get him in on this action. And so that wraps up the Get to Know Your Fantasy Reader tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're someone who does not currently read fantasy, I hope something in here was helpful to you. If you're new to the channel, I hope you got to learn a little bit about me. Definitely hit me up in the comments below. What is the book that hooked you into the fantasy genre? If you enjoyed what you saw here today, please consider hitting the subscribe button, give me a like, hit me up in the comments, or check out the link in the description below and join us on the Nerdy Narrative Discord. I hope your morning has gotten off to a great start. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.